So, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
This is me, Pak Markus, one of the lecturers of Magister Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris of Sanata Dharma, and I'm glad to invite one of our alumni, Mbak Swanti. We call her Mbak Swanti. So, we have a little conversation with regards to the coming activity that is going to be on Wednesday, starting at 11 and up to, I think, 1 p.m. Then, so without further ado, then I would like to invite Mbak Swanti, and this is kind of conversation. So basically, this is colloquial by nature. So for introduction, Mbak Swanti, could you tell me how you end up teaching at YIS, Yogyakarta Independent School?
Thank you, Pak Markus. Hello, everyone. Hi, my name is Swanti. I am a teacher in at Yogyakarta Independent School. We are located in Jomborlor, Yogyakarta. I graduated from PBI Sanata Dharma in 2005. That is like long time ago. And I also graduated from M.Pdi Sanata Dharma in 2018. So both of my studies are about English. When I graduated from the undergrad, I thought that I would teach somewhere in Yogyakarta, but most of my friends at that time were applying to some schools outside Yogyakarta. So I think I'm going to follow them. And I also had an ex who worked in Jakarta. So I think Jakarta is my first place to work. So I applied to one school in Jakarta. At that time, I worked in Dian Harapan. It used national curriculum, but plus. It means that some of the subjects were not using national curriculum at all, including mathematics and also English. I was teaching English for SMP and SMA at that time, so for the secondary levels. And I worked there for 5 years. And then I thought that 5 years is enough. So I moved back to Jogja. I needed to be closer to my family at that time. I worked in Lembaga Bahasa Sanata Dharma for about 2 years. And suddenly in the afternoon, warm afternoon at that time, somebody called my friend that they needed a teacher who can teach mathematics for an international school. So I said, I can. But at that time, it was mathematics teaching, not English. I think it is another option for me. I mean, such a new challenge. So I took that challenge. I finally applied for mathematics teaching position, which is something new for me also, but I really do want to teach mathematics at that time. So I was accepted as a mathematics teacher and a front office staff. So at that time, I finally joined Yogyakarta Independent School, or we call it as YIS, as an front officer and mathematics teacher.
So, sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
So, the mathematics
yes.
is utilized English for a medium of instruction, I would assume.
Yes, it is.
So,
In this school, we all use English as medium of instruction. So I still don't go too far from English subject.
I see.
Yes.
So what grade for math did you teach at that time? Do you still hold the same position at the moment?
I was teaching grade 5 and 6 and also grade 7 at that time. So during my time at school, I would be a front officer in the morning, and some other time I will be teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So many places I would be at that time.
Yeah, so this is interesting. What I can learn from what you described,
Yes.
there is a high degree of, let's say, risk-taking stuff that you did at that time. So I was wondering how your previous education, your undergraduate education at the English education study program of Sanata Dharma,
Yes.
also taught you some kind of risk-taking strategies.
Of course, yes. We had learned in PBE. We know that some teachers were not that, what do you call it? Easy peasy, what do you call that? Some lecturers in Sanata Dharma give us challenges for most of the subjects that we need to take part in an activity or to do more for our assignments. Even there was one lecturer, the Cik Lani at that time.
Mm-hmm.
It was also asking us to do more, to take risk. At that time, we were required to come super early and also to take risk, um, joining all meetings earlier than any other lesson at that time. And we needed to do some action that we can do. At that time, we were supposed to make crafts, but
Right.
it was not only a craft, but we needed to have some research about ourselves, some research about our community, and at that time we create something that represented ourselves and the community and how our position was in the community at that time.
So that's a very vivid expression or description of how the entrepreneurial mindsets
Yes.
were trained and nurtured throughout your education at the undergraduate program. So I'm just going to hear more because it seems to me that you graduated from the undergrad program, you moved to Jakarta for 5 years, and then you come back to Yogyakarta, and after a couple of time in Jogja, you eventually landed at that years teaching something that's beyond the formal education of yours at the undergraduate
Yes.
program.
Yes.
And then in 2016, right?
Yes.
About, well, couple of years, you're staying at Jogja. You return for your education in the master's program. So,
Yes.
what kinds of learning experiences did you gather when you get yourself re-educated in the master's program?
This is the very interesting part. I love M.Pd so much. It is because our school is using international curriculum, and then I do believe the International Baccalaureate is using the latest research results from researchers around the world. I do believe, and I think I don't know them. When I first learn about International Baccalaureate, I think I need to learn more about education. I don't know what constructivism is. At first, I just learned that constructivism was used by my friend uh, when she was taking the undergraduate program, but I did not learn more about that. So this 5 or more years, I think I'm missing many things in education and research and any information about education. So I want to find that missing link by re-educate myself, and my first choice is M.Pd Sanata Dharma at that time. Actually, it was suggested by Ibu Retno at that time. I was coming to Lembaga Bahasa, and then I met Ibu Retno, and then Ibu Retno offered to me this kind of subject, not subjects, program, yes, in M.Pdi, and I was so excited to join. I registered, I was accepted, and then finally I found out the missing links. What I learned in M.Pdi and the international curriculum is really related. So we learned about agency, we learned about constructivism, we learned about making meaning in learning, we learn about self-management, efficacy, and many things that international education is offering to learn. So if teaching in my school has already adopted the International Baccalaureate curriculum, and then everything is already, what do you call, booked. We just need to implement those steps, methods, and everything. But I just need some theory, and then I learned everything from Sanata Dharma. M.Pd Sanata Dharma. Thank you so much. Pak Marcus is my lecturer also.
Yeah. Well, this is a nice conversation, Mbak Swanti, because basically coming back for re-education, the graduate program is a matter of fully admitting that we are all distorted. We have limitations in many ways, and this kind of humility, kind of being humble, admitting that we are not complete, we are not perfect, that allows us to be able to embrace new ideas, new perspectives. And yeah, I've seen issue related to the curriculum itself. So in brief, how would you compare and contrast the international curriculum? If I'm not mistaken, it's baccalaureate curriculum, right?
Yes.
IB, right? International
IB,
Baccalaureate.
yes, we call it as IB.
And then with the Indonesian one, because we got the mandate from the government,
yes,
all grade schools from elementary to senior high school must follow the nationally mandated curriculum. So what is the compare and contrast in your perspective?
Okay. I will look back to the national curriculum from some years ago when I was teaching in Jakarta first. At that time, everything is stated. So our planning must be following the government planner, like there was unit planner, we call it, or yearly planner. And we need to follow that one by one, and we need to finish all the contents from the mandated curriculum so that our students could be ready for the test, or we call that as national exam. This is something because we need to finish everything. We don't have any option to create new topic, new theme, or something new for the lessons to teach our students. So all topics are there. We need to finish that, and then students will be ready for national exam if we give them all of the topics or the contents. But now in the latest curriculum, I do believe we are using the curriculas, the enhanced curriculas probably. It is great because for primary years we have themes where we can be a bit creative about making the materials and also working on the themes. This is great. I love thematic teaching, but one thing is still for sure still the same from national curriculum is that we need to stick to the themes, to the topic chosen. We cannot be outside of that topics. Since we have no longer national exam, but we are also required to join the school exam and regional exams, and that is also another thing that I do believe it is a bit, what do you call, strict from the
Okay,
government.
sorry to recap,
Yes.
to interrupt. I think to recap, then you are going to say that you have been through two types of curriculum.
Yes.
The first one is I believe it was KTSP, right?
Yes, KTSP.
Okay, and the second one is K13 or Kurtilas.
Yes.
And in your recalling, and then it is evidence that the first focuses on the coverage. You need to cover all the required topics.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's the first. That's the KTSP.
Yes.
And Kurtilas allows you to be a bit more engaging in a sense that it is thematic based.
Yes.
Yeah, theme based. Sorry,
Yes.
theme based.
Yes.
But some similarity, you need to cover all the materials.
Yes, exactly.
Now the question is,
Yeah.
the question is how different or how similar are the descriptions of the previous two curricula with the IB, the International Baccalaureate?
One thing that is similar from Kurtilas actually with IB is that both of them have themes.
Okay.
For Kurtilas, the themes are mandated. It has sub-themes which are also mandated, but in IB, our themes we only have for primary mostly. It has only 6 themes that we can work on through the year, and from those themes it has sub-themes that students can create by themselves.
Okay.
So we have one big theme, for example, how the world works. So we don't have a theme like my family, my friends. No, we have the some themes are like this: how the world works, one theme, and then the other theme will be sharing the planet, and the other theme will be who we are. So, for example, in sharing the planet, it covers 4 things like environment, peace and conflict,
you see,
equality, and community.
You see.
So from 4 topics, students create their own, we call it as central idea, Or if we call it in the university study, we call it as hypothesis or something like that. So together with the teacher, of course, we construct a hypothesis about the subtopic, whether we are going to learn about environment or peace and conflict or equality or community. Together in class, we have one session or two discussion on making the central idea. It must be in one sentence. Our central idea now for grade 3 and 4 is the fact that matters undergo changes, bring positive and negative effects to the society. So this hypothesis is going to be explored by grade 3 and 4 students through research and also experiments and also anything like that. So the difference between curriculum and IB is that IB is more student-centered. The topics are chosen by the students. The way they want to learn is also flexible. It means that each student even has different kind of research and also steps to learn about that thing. So it is more flexible for IB and more student-centered, something like that.
Okay, so this is interesting. I think we've got a lot of things to learn, especially related to the big major differences.
Yes.
Just to recap then, first, the international curriculum, the IB ones,
Yes.
Focuses or emphasizes or on the autonomy of the students.
Sure.
So the autonomy of the students is the receive the biggest portion. And the second one, it seems to me, I just try to capture what you have discussed briefly. It is very likely that the theme in the IB is big enough.
Very, very big, especially for little kids like preschool. We also have those themes.
Yeah, so it's very big, not limited on a certain topic.
Yes.
So it has a wider worldview or wider perspective or horizon in the humanity itself. Yes. So I think we need to elaborate further, and it's better for you to provide the compare and contrast in your presentation later, right? Okay. Yeah, just to get some arguments on this particular issue. Yes. My last question for you, Mbak Swanti. So what do you think, yeah, the people, like undergraduate students need to learn, what graduate students need to develop? Yeah, for two audience first.
Okay. I think I just want to share what I learned in this school using the international curriculum, that we need to be ready for changes. The world changes so fast. Technology changes so fast. Information changes so fast. And fake news are outside. We need to be ready for all changes, especially a teacher. We need to be very, very updated about the news around the world. If we are not that updated, we can ask students to search by themselves what is on in the world. Mm-hmm. Regarding the lesson planning, we need to be ready for changes also, because our last year lesson plan will be staying there. We are not going to use last year's lesson plan because this year we have new students, we have new world condition, we have a new different level of students even in the class. So we need to tailor our planning to the students we are teaching and to the context that we are having in the world.
Okay, so it
Yes.
seems to me the key issue is be dynamic, right?
Very, very good. Yes,
Yeah.
I do agree.
Okay. So, what do you
Yes.
think that teachers and lecturers need to do then, based on how your experience tells you?
I think the lecturers need to accommodate the students' need first, and also to let the students explore the topics that they want to learn that much. So it means to give flexibility for students to explore the topic. I I think I need, maybe if I want to join another program from M.Pd, I want to have that lesson where we can explore areas of education by ourselves, but we got guidance from the lecturer, of course. Maybe I want to learn more about linguistic or something, or young learner, or technology in education, but in one lesson. And the lecturer, I think MPBE lecturers are enough for me. They have a lot of things to share, and they have allowed us to learn more. So maybe that's just that lesson, allowing the students to explore by themselves, something like that one.
Okay, so thanks a lot, Mbak Swanti. I think this is a very beautiful conversation, and we will share this message, this link to the rest of the students, to the participants, so that they can learn from each other, or from you as well. So we will see each other very soon, and bye-bye.
Bye bye.